Here we have a 2006 Mazda 6 with 300,000 kilometers on it. And when I was in college and the end of high school, all the good-looking girls drove Sunfires. And then after the Sunfire era kind of died off, these Mazda 6s were what the good-looking girls drove. Now, I don't know what the good-looking girls drive now because I'm married and I just stopped paying attention to that. But I do know that a good-looking girl does not drive this car because Bob drives this car. And Bob loves his Mazda 6, so much so that he is going to put new shocks on the back and new towers on the front and get another 100,000 kilometers out of this car. Now, if you were going to buy a Mazda 6, buy it off of somebody like Bob, because Bob loves his car so much that he sprays it with oil religiously, I think 6 times a year. Now, you can see that. That's just scraping the surface. If this car was to catch fire, it would leave a very dark cloud for a long time. Because Bob loves his car, it's a great car to buy used, because even though it's got aluminum rims, he's got factory Mazda hubcaps for his snow tires. And if somebody is willing to pay that for winter tires, then you know that they've done very well maintenance on their car, and I would not hesitate to buy this car from Bob. Here we go. So to take these shock towers out of the front, we need to support our vehicle and give us lots of room to put the jack in underneath, and then take our brakes off by cracking loose these two 17mm bolts, taking them out, and then having some sort of block or something to put your brakes on. Ow! And just lay them down. You can also hang a wire or something off of there. Then you want to pull that clip off that I just covered up. Oh, see this clip? Pull that out right here. Pull your brake line off. Just leave it off to the side. You're done with that. Take off your rotor and take out this bolt here, and that attaches the bottom of the tower to your casting right there. Take off your drag link, which is right there, and you want to use a 5mm Allen to stick inside there, and a 14mm wrench that'll spin off. And whatever you do not loosen this bolt, but take these 3 out instead. Leave that bolt alone. Don't touch it. And when I say don't touch it, because the whole thing will explode in your face. Oh no! Something happens when you use one hand. Right, now it's loose at the top. You can see that there's no spring tension or anything on it. It's just kind of, that needs to go down and that needs to go up. So you can just bang on it. You can try and put a screwdriver or a chisel in the back to spread the ears out, because you need to get this part out of this part. And basically you just got to do whatever you got to do to get that out. Don't use heat on here because it's full of gas and it'll light everything on fire. And Bob wants his car back. So we're gonna try and hit it here, and you don't want to force it. You just want to get a bigger hammer, a big boy hammer. See if that works. Yeah. Now, we're also going to do ball joints, because we're going to send it to an alignment, and I think these are original, so might as well replace them. And I'm going to show you how, because Gary stole my ball joint press and hasn't given it back yet. So I have to do this with a pipe and a C-clamp and a hockey puck, good old Canadian hockey puck, and a plate of steel, 3/4 extension, and 1 3/4 socket. And I don't want any comment saying, Rich, why don't you use the ball joint press? Where's your ball joint press? I have a ball. But anyway, I'm going to do this because it's late at night. I want to get it done, and we'll get her done, and then we'll show you how to put the strut tower back. So here we go. Magic. Warning. Don't loosen that or you'll die. Okay. And this end installed up. So some genius decided to put the sticker where it's in the casting so you can't read it regardless. Now I gotta peel this stupid sticker off because it's gonna bind up in here and you want it nice and clean. So I just have all the bolts started in there and then put a jack underneath the bottom. Basically your goal is to get that in there. Now I put a little bit of never sees around in the casting there, so less of a mess because you're working your hands in there. And then basically just vibrate it in. Something like that. And then when that lines up, the little hook at the back there lines up your hole, you're done. Give her. Clips back in, drag link is back on. 2 bolts for your brake assemblies are tight. Bolt going through the casting there-ish is tight. And tighten up your top of the tower and done. Torque your tire, Bob's your uncle. So to get the trunk you wanna, oh jeez, go wash your hands, you're filthy. The back shock, you have to pull these little clips out. One down there and one up there. Pull this cover off, and that's just pulling the center little piece out of this, and then you can pop the second piece out. Then you can get at the top of the shock, so you just want to take this nut off. There it is. Shut up, compressor. And then go to the bottom, a 17mm socket, pull the bolt out, and yeah, once we get there we'll go from there. So don't take these 2 bolts out, that one and that one, but you can pull this down out here. Oh, one hand is so hard. Hold on. See? Just one hand. I was using my wrong hand. That's all. Now you stick a pair of vice grips on here to keep this rod from spinning, so you get the nut off the top. Then take the nut off the bottom. Then put this sleeve over the new shock, and then pull it back down again. Put a pair of vice grips at the top so you can tighten the top nut and shove this back in the hole, and then pull it down so that the bottom hole lines up. Put the bolt back in again, and then you're done. And then Bob's your uncle. And this is Bob's car. And there you go, Bob. Hope you enjoy your smooth new Mazda 6. Here we go. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because you never know what you're going to see next week on DeBoss Garage. If you like what you see, there's a lot of stuff happening to help support the channel. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.